Hello, my name is Laura Estrada. We did our research on Dr. Ann Kinsey. So a little bit about herself is she studied energy and resources as well as physics. She works at ASU as a professor for the School of Life Sciences. She's Chief Research Strategist for the Julie Ann Worthy Global Institute of Sustainability, and she's on the Steering Committee Leadership Academy. She has received many awards and honors, including special recognition for Professor of the Year, ASU's Sun Devil Family Association in 2013, which is her recent award. As you can see, she has many more. The focal point for her research is largely on conservation development interactions, the resilience of natural resource systems, and on the ecosystem services. Currently, she's working on the resilience of prehistoric landscapes in the American Southwest and modeling anthropogenic effects in the spread of diseases. We did the effect of human socioeconomic status and cultural characteristics on the urban patterns of biodiversity. Our question that we introduced was, what implications do neighborhood socioeconomic and cultural statuses have in structuring urban biodiversity patterns? The hypothesis is incorporating a socioeconomic gradient may not only improve predictive ability, but also alter our perceptions of human environment and interactions as we acknowledge that the preferences and desires of people and their landscape matter. We have perennial plant diversity in parks. This is a decision driven by efficiency aesthetic than by the status of different served groups. Plant diversity in parks is not expected to vary with socioeconomic or cultural characteristics. Household landscaping choices. This is for plant diversity in the neighborhoods. So household landscaping choices, plant diversity in neighborhoods is expected to vary significantly with socioeconomic or cultural characteristics. And the bird diversity in parks and neighborhoods. So the bird diversity in neighborhoods is expected to be more sensitive to socioeconomic and cultural characteristics than bird diversity in the parks. But the mobility of birds between parks and their neighborhoods is expected to make this difference small. So a little background information, the gradient approach. So regular patterns of biodiversity relative to gradients of land use distance from urban center or human population density. This captures the ways in which their activities will influence patterns of biodiversity within the urban matrix and improves our understanding of the structure of biological communities in and around urban areas. So more people will live in cities and in rural environments, and the daily interaction with nature for most people will come from their yards, streets, and neighborhood parks. The objective was to offer a conceptual framework for understanding when we may need to go beyond traditional gradient analysis and include gradients of socioeconomic and cultural characteristics to explain urban patterns of biodiversity, ultimately to promote regional conservation in urbanizing areas. Some of the methods was site selection, socioeconomic classification, avian diversity, perennial plant diversity, and measuring influences of neighborhood status. Our results were, so you can see A represents perennial plants in neighborhoods, B, birds in neighborhoods, C, birds in parks, and D, perennial plants in parks. Table 1 shows analysis of measures of species richness versus median neighborhood income for various factors. Biodiversity is not taken into account in neighborhoods from A to D. Residential values and economic resources create implications for human quality of life and urban conservation strategies and planning. Greater number of asterisks indicates that diversity is affected by variables, as you can see on this table. Neighborhood, socioeconomic, and culture studies plays a big role in structuring urban biodiversity patterns, independent effects of population density, distance from urban city, and median year structure built. So this raises a concern because the quality of life as its state is at stakes when lower socioeconomic statuses should be exposed to nature as the rich can afford to travel and explore such amenities. And the lower socioeconomic status results in less exposure to diverse plants and birds in communities. Thank you.